Good morning students. Today I am going to share an experience with you all. Once I went to a fair with my mother. There I liked a doll. As usual child, I wanted to buy that. But my mother asked me to wait. So out of anger, I stopped eating food for few days. What happened then was something which is unimaginable. I fell sick. So now a curiosity came in my mind that what will happen if we do not eat food for few days? We may feel weak. Thus, we can say that food is the key of our energy. Now, the question arises that what is there in the food that makes it an essential part of our life as well as our survival? It is the nutrients like protein, carbohydrate, fats, minerals and vitamins. So, now we will be discussing about the modes of nutrition. Animals eat food through their mouth and get nutrition like us. But have you ever seen any plant having a mouth and eating food like us? Then how do they get their nutrition? So, as the picture depicts very clearly that humans, as we can see, eat our plants and animals as their food and source of nutrition. Thus, they are called heterotrophs. Plants, on the other hand, prepares their own food and do not depend on plants and animals for their nutrition. Thus, they are called autotrophs. Thus, we can easily classify nutrition in living organisms as autotrophs and heterotrophs. Here, we would be discussing about autotrophic mode of nutrition. Photosynthesis. Now, the question arises, which part of the plant prepares the food and how is it produced? Leaves of the plant are the part which is responsible for food synthesis, thus are called food factory of a plant. As a factory needs some raw materials to prepare its final product, in the same way, a leaf also needs some raw materials to prepare the final product, that is food. Thus, raw materials are what? Water and minerals. Also CO2, sunlight. Here we can see that root transport minerals and waters to the leaves through vessels which run throughout the plants like pipelines. Now, we see that how these openings called stomata present on the surface of the leaves and protected by guard cell help to provide plant with CO2. Since now we know that leaves helps us to synthesize food, but it cannot happen without light. Thus we can say that light becomes an essential requirement. It is quite obvious that sunlight falls on the leaf, but have you ever thought how does plant captures it? Thus, till now we have seen that how each plant brings the raw materials, that is what? Water, minerals, carbohydrate, sunlight to the leaves where the rest of the process of food production occurs. Since the production of food is light dependent, we call it photosynthesis, where photos means light and synthesis means to produce. We will see how the phenomenon got its name. To summarize the whole of this phenomenon, we can say that photosynthesis is the process in which plant captures solar radiation from the sun through their leaves and transforms this sunlight into food. This food laterally utilized by the plant whenever it is required. So think about the ultimate source of energy in the organisms. What do you think it is? Is it the food? No. Sun is the ultimate source of energy that helps to produce food. Now, what happens in photosynthesis? During photosynthesis, chlorophyll containing part of the plants use carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and carbon dioxide to produce carbohydrate, which is the stored food for the plants, which required plants can easily break down these stored carbohydrates to produce energy. This whole phenomenon can be represented as CO2 plus H2O gives carbohydrate plus O2, that is carbon dioxide plus water will transform into what? Carbohydrate and oxygen. As the equation depicts, in this process oxygen is released as it is in the gaseous form. Also, the carbohydrate produced will get converted to its ultimate storage form, that is starch. Now, being little scientists, we have various questions coming in our mind, right? Questions like, does only green leaves undergo photosynthesis? Or what is the proof that sun is the ultimate source of energy? Now, we will be doing an experiment to fulfill these questions. What we will be doing is, take two similar plants, keep one in sunlight and other in dark room which is covered for 2 days. After that, pluck leaves from both the plants and perform iodine test which you had done in class 6 and note your recordings. Repeat the same iodine test with leaves of different color and record your observations. Now, what are you going to observe? Thus, we can observe that the leaves which was exposed to the sun gave more intense blue-black color, confirming the presence of starch. On the other hand, leaves that were kept in the dark gave less intense color, which proves the presence of starch but in lower amount. On the other hand, different color leaves gave the positive test for starch. Now, we will be drawing the inference. Thus, we can infer that sunlight is the ultimate source of energy and chlorophyll is also present in other colored parts. All other leaves of different colors also perform photosynthesis. Other color of leaves may be due to the presence of large amount of red, brown and other pigments that mask the green color. Repeat the same experiment with leaves of different color and record your observations. Your predictions might change, so just try it. Now, we will be coming to algae. Have you ever seen any other organisms green other than plants? If you have, then it is algae, and it is green due to the presence of chlorophyll only. Now, we will be summarizing the whole of the video once again. Till now, what are the things that we have studied? We have studied about nutrition, various modes of nutrition. Then, we specially focused on autotrophic mode of nutrition. And while discussing autotrophic mode of nutrition, we highlighted on photosynthesis, processes involved in photosynthesis, raw materials that were taking part in the process of photosynthesis. And at last, we discussed about algae. Now, in the next chapter, we will be talking about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So, till then, wait for the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.